Welcome to Cozy Dream Tale, your nightly passage to a world of dreams. Tonight, let the worries of the day fade as we journey to the Carnival of Dreams, a magical place where wonders await. Get cozy, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. Let the softness of your bed embrace you as we enter a world of enchantment and discovery. Now, let the story unfold and carry you to a peaceful slumber. Chapter 3: The Heart of Dreams. The residents of Willow Creek were all abuzz with excitement as the Carnival of Dreams got ready for its third night. Everyone came to the dream world with high hopes and dreams after the previous nights had shown them its marvels. The experience with the Weaver of Dreams had a profound effect on Emma, and she returned to the carnival with a renewed determination to discover its interworkings. As darkness fell, the carnival transformed into a captivating display. Attractions appeared to come to life as lights swung in complex patterns and wonderful music resounded around the venue. Many of the guests were making repeat appearances at the carnival, and they all seemed to be on a mission to find their own way to the center of their fantasies. The mirror maze of memories, which had become like an old friend to Emma, was her first destination. But this time, instead of seeing her history as an outsider, she actively engaged with her memories, learning from them as she made her way through the labyrinth. It seemed as if the labyrinth was directing her, illuminating the path she had taken. While at the Garden of Whispers, Emma paid great attention to the tree sounds. At this point, the whispers were almost bejeweled in their coherence. Every tree gave her a unique view on her life and her aspirations, and she listened to words of wisdom, caution, and encouragement. After that, she was going to the Carousel of Lost Dreams. Emma closed her eyes as she rode on the carousel on a majestic phoenix, allowing herself to be carried away by her dreams. She had a renewed sense of purpose with each success that encouraged her to keep writing. More intimate stories than before emerged from the storyteller in Pandora's box of stories. The events unfolding before Emma's eyes were a reflection of her own life, replete with trials and tribulations. She felt empowered and gained clarity about her own story as a result of the encounter. On that particular night, however, her most formative encounter took place in the Hall of Echoes. With each stride into the hall, the echoes became a crystal clear picture of her possible future, a future where her ambitions came true. But only after tackling formidable obstacles and making tough decisions. As the night progressed, Emma and the other guests explored the dream realm, where they encountered various beings who shed light on the innermost secrets. The carnival had evolved into a springboard for introspection and development, rather than just an amusement park. As morning drew near, the enchantment of the dream world started to fade, but the expedition into the depths of dreams had an indelible mark. After experiencing the carnival, guests felt more connected to themselves and their lives. A new attraction called the Echoes of Yesterday debuted on the fourth night of the Carnival of Dreams. It seemed as if it was inviting guests to delve into their history in a manner they hadn't before. Fascinated by this fresh chance, Emma wooded, but the others outside a tent decorated with pictures of clocks and hourglasses. Within the tent, there were several divisions that stood for various historical periods. Emma became engrossed in scenarios from personal and world history as she strolled around, Attraction goers were able to feel as if they were a part of important historical events and personal recollections. Emma first had a flashback to her own childhood birthday celebration, complete with the carefree spirit and boundless enthusiasm of her younger self. The innocence and purity of youth's hopes and desires were starkly brought to light by this moving tribute. She ended herself in the middle of a pivotal historical event, experiencing firsthand the effects and feelings of that era. After having strayed into a different region, the echoes of yesterday offered a fresh viewpoint on how history influences present and future. Along the way, many people experienced a range of emotions. Emma gained insight into and forgiveness for unheld grudges. This allure was about more than just reminiscing. It was a means of accepting and making sense of one's past. Travelers might reflect on their life's paths and the choices that had molded them at this site. Emma felt a stronger connection to her own narrative as she left the tent. She came to terms with the fact that her history had an impact on her present, and that knowing it will help her make better choices in the future. As a result of its pivotal role in the Carnival of Dreams, the echoes of yesterday provided an introspective voyage through individual pasts and the passage of time. It served as a gentle reminder to guests that while dreams do impact the future, it is also constructed atop the pillars of the past. As the secrets of the Carnival of Dreams were revealed night after night, guests were captivated by a new attraction named the Labyrinth of Now on the fifth night. This one-of-a-kind event offered a trip to the present, giving people a chance to look at their lives as they are right now from a new angle, intrigued by the possibility of discovering more about her present life. Emma ventured into the labyrinth. Along the corridors within, visitors might see mirrors that showed not their outward looks, but the inner workings of their own life. The complex web of their everyday lives was reflected in these mirrors, which revealed their present pleasures and sorrows as well as their connections. Scenes from Emma's life appeared to her as she made her way through the maze. In her mind, she was back at her job at the library, chatting with customers and co-workers. In addition to reflecting the actual room, the mirror also showed her the relationships she had with co-workers, the effect her employment had, and how she felt about her position overall. In a different part, she saw a drama involving her family and learned more about her part in it, and how the dynamics affected their interactions. The profound impact of the encounter helped her to appreciate the intricacies and splendor of her regular existence. Witnessing the reflection of her hopes and ambitions was a really moving experience for Emma. She was seen in the mirror at her writing desk, with stacks of manuscripts and notes all around her. The significance of following her heart and her love of writing were driven home by this powerful message. The Labyrinth of Now served as more than simply a tourist attraction. It encouraged self-reflection as well. Gave guests a chance to think in where they were, what they were doing right now, and the decisions and experiences that had brought them to this point in their life. After navigating the maze, Emma had a fresh perspective on her life's circumstances. She realized the significance of both planning for the future and making the most of the here and now. This encounter set her in solid foundation and gave her direction and purpose on her present path. Many guests found that the Labyrinth of Now was a watershed moment, a site where they could finally face and accept the present, giving them the tools they needed to shape their future in a positive way. The vista of tomorrow was an exciting new attraction that premiered on the 6th night of the Carnival of Dreams. It offered a look into the future and the opportunity to observe how one's present actions may play out. Everyone who came was enthralled by this image of the future, but especially Emma, who was curious about what the future held for her. One must say, the vista of tomorrow was an unforgettable event. Guests entered a chamber encircled by panoramic displays that showed dynamic, colorful depictions of their future selves. Its underlying technology was very remarkable. It used the visitors' real-time data to predict what would happen in the future. The moment Emma entered the room, the displays activated. She saw herself in a number of future scenarios, including a book signing as a famous author, a trip to other lands to gather ideas, and even scenes from her future family life. Every scene offered a glimpse into a potential future, brimming with aspirations, triumphs, and obstacles. On the other hand, the vista of tomorrow shows some less than ideal future scenarios. Emma felt remorse after seeing sequences in which her goals remained unmet, and she had abandoned her ambitions to become a writer, reminding us that our future is dependent on the decisions we make now. These visuals served as powerful reminders. Emma found the experience to be enlightening. The significance of her present choices and their potential impact on her future became clear to her as a result. In addition to depicting a bright and optimistic future, the attraction gave a realistic picture that included the negatives as well as the positives and the possibilities. A vista of tomorrow inspired a lot of people to take action. They were inspired to seize control of their life and make deliberate choices that would guide them to the future they envisioned. Even if kids can't see into the future, it's still a beaming slate where they may draw their hopes and aspirations based on the decisions they make now. At the end of the vista of tomorrow, Emma felt a range of emotions, a sense of possibility, a resolve to pursue her goals, and a deeper appreciation for the agency of the individual. Despite the many unknowns, looking forward to what the future held felt both less scary and more exhilarating. One of the most popular attractions during the Carnival of Dreams, the Vista of Tomorrow, allowed guests to reflect on their own futures and find the motivation to make their dreams a reality. The Carnival of Dreams was planned to be a unique extravaganza for the 7th night, with the announcement of a one-off performance called the Remaster. Darren, the mysterious carnival leader, who had become a figure of curiosity and mystery, drew a huge audience. Under the twinkling stars, the Remaster emerged as the audience gathered around the main platform. His posture was contemplative, even solemn, and his normally flashy dress was swapped out for something more understated and sophisticated. Stand friends and visitors, this evening I will tell you not only the marvels of our carnival, but also its origin to my narrative, he said, his voice betraying a touch of melancholy and warmth. The ringmaster shared stories from formative years, when he faced many challenges and developed a strong sense of individuality and perspective. The sort of magic he had discovered, he said, was not magic in the traditional sense, but rather the magic of the mind, its unrealized potential and aspirations. His tales of meeting mystics, sages, and dream weavers throughout the globe laid the groundwork for what would become the Carnival of Dreams. It was a voyage into the human condition, not only a physical one. A carnival of dreams was created from a desire to create a place where the unthinkable becomes attainable, where individuals may face their darkest fears and embrace their greatest goals. The ringmaster remarked. His story took the listener on an emotional roller coaster. More than simply a history lesson. The crowd was spellbound, paying close attention to the ringmaster's every move. At the end of his story, the ringmaster made his point very clear. The Carnival of Dreams was not only a place to have fun, it was a haven for those seeking solace in their inner being. All of the audience members, including Emma, were taken aback. The carnival took on a whole meaning after hearing the ringmaster's tale. No longer was it only a captivating show. It was the realization of a man's lifelong ambition, his labor of love to investigate and honor the richness and diversity of the human soul. On the night of the ringmaster's tale, the curtain came down on the Carnival of Dreams. Following ringmaster's tale, there was a subtle change in the atmosphere at the Carnival of Dreams. As the second attraction debuted, the shadows of the mind encouraged guests to face their deepest anxieties, uncertainties, and fears in a safe and supportive environment. Despite her reservations, Emma felt driven to investigate this facet of her visions. She was greeted with a darkly lighted room where shadows danced and murmured as she stepped into the attraction. In sharp contrast to the lively and carefree carnival activities, the atmosphere was foreboding. The original intent of the shadows of the mind was for it to be a very introspective experience, a meeting of the minds. Emma had to overcome her worries of being rejected and failing at writing in order to completely embrace her love for the craft. Scenes around her as she progressed through the attraction symbolized various fears and doubts she had. In one scenario, she was seen taking criticism well. In another, she was shown was a failed writer whose goals had gone unfulfilled. She felt her innermost concerns being tapped into in every scenario. Emma found the experience to be therapeutic, even if it was painful. It was an opportunity to investigate the role her anxieties played in her life and choices by confronting them directly. Thrill of pursuing one's goals is one of the friends of the complements of dreaming. Yet the attraction aims to shed light on rather than frighten. Several Anavulgars experienced the mind moment that changed their perspective. One of the first steps in realizing one's potential is taking stock of one's inner thoughts and feelings, and this place provided a safe place to do just that. Emma felt empowered by the conclusion of the attraction. The key to conquering her anxieties, she concluded, was to face them head-on. It was a lesson about finding a happy medium when dreaming, about how confronting your fears and obstacles is an essential part of pursuing your dreams. The Carnival of Dreams gave an immersive experience of dreaming with their presentation of the shadows of the mind, which did not sugar the complexity and challenges of following one's heart. Everyone was getting excited as the clock ticked down to midnight on the last night of the Carnival of Dreams. An extraordinary occurrence, which the ringmaster had assured everyone would happen, will unveil the carnival's greatest secret. That the center stage, where several magical performances had taken place throughout the previous week, Emma and a multitude of enthusiastic spectators gathered. As always, the ringmaster commanded attention as he took the stage, but this time he carried himself with more gravity. All around them, the carnival became silent, as if in anticipation of something great. Then, and visitors, the ringmaster said, his voice echoing in the stillness. Tonight is the last night of our visit to your delightful town. However, before I go, I would like to tell you the story of our carnival, the secret that gives life to our fantastical world. The enthusiasm in the gathering was contagious, and I listened with rapt attention. In her eagerness to solve the riddle of this enchanted location, Emma's pulse raced. According to the ringmaster, the Carnival of Dream is not just a show. It's an organic whole that thrives on the hopes and fantasies of everyone who visit. He elaborated by saying that the carnival represented the coming together of people's subconscious thoughts to form a common reality, and that it was a physical representation of collective dreaming. The carnival's many attractions and experiences mirrored the visitors' innermost aspirations, anxieties, hopes, and dreams. This carnival is a reflection of who you are, a stage for your wildest dreams and darkest fears. It is a location where you face your history, experience life in the here and now, and discover what lies ahead, he said, surveying the audience. It was a tremendous epiphany. The ringmaster and his crew weren't the only ones responsible for the Carnival of Dreams enchantment. The dreams of all the guests were instrumental in making the event a reality. But keep in mind, the ringmaster warned, that while we offer a stage upon which your dreams might come true, the responsibility for bringing that enchantment to your own life ultimately rests with you. Dreams are powerful, but only if you have the courage to follow them beyond the perimeter of our carnival. The carnival started to transform as his words took hold. As if the carnival were getting ready to fade back into the dream world, the lights went down, the music became softer, and the attractions gradually dwindled. That evening, Emma and the other guests departed the Carnival of Dreams with a fresh perspective. They had been more than passive observers of magic. They had taken part in making it. Their perspective and the strength of their own aspirations and the enchantment inherent in every individual was profoundly altered by the event. The carnival faded away as the first rays of morning reached the grounds, leaving behind just the experiences and insights it had offered. Although the Carnival of Dreams had left the memories of its magnificence, would remain with anyone who had been fortunate enough to partake. Chapter 4: The Price of Dreams. Willow Creek felt a tangible lack of energy the next morning after the Carnival of Dreams had disappeared. A serene, contented ambience replaced the pulsating vitality and enchanting charm of the fair. Like many others, Emma was still trying to make sense of what had happened last week, what had been revealed, and how it had made her feel. People started talking about the carnival as the town started to wake up. Everybody spoke about what they had done, what they had seen, and what they had learned. While everyone was reminiscing and celebrating, a sense of reality was creeping in. The knowledge that the carnival's enchantment wasn't free. The price of Emma's ambitions became clear when she reflected on her own path. In addition to revealing the splendor and promise of her dreams, the carnival had also revealed her the dangers and difficulties that came with them. The event had changed her, but it had also made her accountable for following her heart, conquering her anxieties, and adjusting her life as needed. The carnival's enchantment, the townsfolk realized, served as a catalyst, a spark that sent the townsfolk's own creative juices flowing. What really mattered was that they set out to achieve their goals and aspirations. The carnival had provided an opportunity But was for each person to seize it and turn their aspirations into reality was a scary thought for some. Dreams that had been so alluring and fun in the carnival's mystical atmosphere suddenly looked difficult and demanding in the harsh daylight. Numerous practical challenges and unknowns stood in the way of realizing these ambitions. The epiphany, nevertheless, was powerful for Emma and a lot of other people. They were more determined than ever to follow their aspirations despite the obstacles they faced after seeing what was possible in the experience. It served as a gentle reminder that while the carnival had offered the inspiration, the path to actualizing that vision was an individual and sometimes challenging one. Willow Creek adjusted to life without the carnival as the day went on. Recollections of those enchanted evenings remained, a mixture of all motivation and the sober realization of how expensive aspirations can be. The people of Willow Creek had to face a new reality in the days after the Carnival of Dreams left. Realization of the price of imagination occurred with the fantastic. Calls emergence from the shadows of the everyday. It became clear to Emma and others that dreaming may have real-world consequences. Even though Emma was back to her regular routine, the carnival was never far from her mind. Once fulfilling, her job at the library now seemed routine. Because of the carnival's enchantment, her regular life seemed dull and unfulfilling. This was a feeling shared by many. People all throughout town were feeling the same way, agitated and dissatisfied. Their ordinary lives seemed so limiting after seeing the carnival's limitless possibilities. Some people become disillusioned because of this. Their ordinary lives stood in sharp contrast to the magic of the carnival. While the carnival was thrilling, it had also established an unrealistic expectation for what life might be like, and they longed for the enchantment, for it was no longer real. A good shift was also brought about by the expense of fantasy. Many people, Emma included, were aroused from their slumber by it, and realized how carefree they had been. Dreams are powerful and should be pursued. That the carnival had also showed them that dreams cannot be made a reality without action. Many went through a time of self-fulfillment after coming to this knowledge. A lot of people started thinking about how they might alter their lives to be more like the ones they had imagined at the carnival. As a result, Emma had to give her writing a higher priority, devote more time to it, and look into publishing options. The fantasy came at a double price. A part of them felt sad and missed the enchantment that had once shone brightly in their lives. On the other side, it gave them enthusiasm for living out their aspirations, with a fresh feeling of purpose. In addition to a sense of awe and enchantment, the Carnival of Dreams imparted a nuanced appreciation for the risks and benefits of following one's heart. The residents of Willow Creek were forced to face the truth of their decision-making situation in the weeks subsequent to the Carnival of Dreams. The carnival's departure had created a vacuum, but it had also sparked a desire to act quickly on the aspirations it had sparked. At a crossroads, Emma had to make choices that would affect the rest of her life. Staying put in her present life or taking a chance on her ambition of becoming a writer was the first option Emma faced. There was a lure in the stability and predictability of her employment at the library, with its daily schedule, unreliable paycheck. That the carnival and the realization of her fantasy and the weaver of dreams compelled her to take a chance. People all throughout town were also opting for the same things. After sampling all the delicious treats at the carnival, a local baker considered turning his bakery into a restaurant. After being deeply inspired by the tales in Pandora's Box of Tales, a teacher contemplated writing a book to motivate her pupils. These decisions were challenging. The possibility of failure was a constant source of uncertainty and terror for everyone involved. They were terrified of the consequences that might follow from leaving their safety zones. Everything seemed feasible under the carnival's enchanted aura. But when the lights came on, the challenges were staring back at them. Emma pondered her options, conflicted between the security of her present situation and the risk of following her heart. She spoke to those closest to her for their opinions. But she realized she had to make the final decision. The consequences of the Carnival of Dreams were shown by the decisions that the Willow Creek inhabitants had to make. Along with illuminating their innermost ambitions, it had pushed them to the verge of taking decisive action. The carnival may have ended, but the decisions it had caused continued, posing the problem of determining the level of risk one was ready to take in pursuit of their aspirations. Many people's lives took a dramatic shift at this time of decision-making. It was a period of figuring out who you were and what you value most in life. It was a path for self-discovery and empowerment for many, including Emma. Decisions taken after the carnival would determine how their lives turned out. Everybody was getting closer and closer to making their goals come true, which was both a scary and exhilarating thought. The people of Willow Creek were caught in an internal conflict as they started to implement their choices. It was a fight between sticking with what they knew and pursuing their goals. The conflict was especially meaningful for Emma, since she was struggling with the logistics of her choice to become a writer. She faced several obstacles when she left her stable position at the library for the unknown world of writing. She wondered whether she was good enough. Would she be able to sustain herself as a writer? A persistent, discouraging voice was the dread of failing. Emma wasn't the only one who had to fight this. When thinking about opening a restaurant, a baker had similar reservations. The stakes were high, and the investment was substantial. The educator, who aspired to be a published author, doubted her capacity to motivate others via her discourse. Every person's internal conflict centered on choosing between the security of their present circumstances and the potential danger of following their passions. Stepping through the door that the carnival had opened to a world of possibilities required bravery and will. The light bulb moment for Emma occurred when she understood that the greatest danger was not failing to attempt as a writer, but failing to try at all. To pursue a goal, she realized, was to face the inevitable dread of failing. The important thing was to recognize her fear, but she couldn't let it dictate her actions. This insight marked a turning point. It encouraged her to put pen to paper and begin writing down her thoughts and tales. Along with her duties at the library, she started setting aside time every day to write. The baker also began playing around with various dishes and restaurant ideas, while the instructor sketched out her book concept. In the struggle for independence, every little step was a win that brought them closer to their goals. A change had taken place in Willow Creek as a result of the Carnival of Dreams. A demonstration of how aspirations can inspire action, the inhabitants fought tooth and nail to make their vision a reality. The path was long and winding, but it promised progress and satisfaction at the end. The effects of the Carnival of Dreams on Willow Creek's inhabitants persisted over the months. The struggles they had endured on the inside and the decisions they had taken began to manifest in concrete ways in their lives. The defining choice that would determine Emma's future occurred at this time. And chance that would alter the course of Emma's life came at the last possible minute. After a famous publisher saw her early works, they gave her a contract to write a book. In order to take advantage of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, she would have to quit her work at the library and devote herself entirely to writing. Making the choice was excruciating. The library had always been a safe haven for her, a place where she could relax and unwind. The opportunity to make a living doing what she loved came when she received an offer to write a book. It was a pivotal event, the kind that determined one's trajectory in life. Emma pondered the choice, considering the safety and comfort of her present life in comparison to the adventure and novelty of a different direction. Recalling her time at the Carnival of Dreams, she reflected on the anxieties she had faced and the insights about her dreams. Even though Emma had always known what she wanted, taking the plunge required a degree of courage and dedication that was thrilling and scary all at once. She spoke to those closest to her for advice, but the choice was as intensely personal as her work. Emma finally made up her mind after some deliberation. Fearlessly venturing into her imaginative realm, she made the choice to welcome the unknown. The choice was not without its hazards, but for Emma the alternative, not following her dream, was much more terrifying. With this last choice, she started a new chapter in her life. She said her goodbyes to the library, which had given her so much, and switched her focus to the future, where she felt both hopeful and determined. They were all moved by Emma's choice at Willow Creek. The baker started making repairs to his eatery, while the educator used her time off to compose her memoirs. Under the Carnival's enchanting spell, the whole town seemed to be undergoing a metamorphosis. Even though the Carnival of Dreams had ended, the memories and impact it had had on those who had attended continued long after it had ended. It had given them the push they needed to finally act on their goals. The choice to follow those aspirations was the cost of the enchantment they had felt, but many were prepared to pay it, including Emma, in exchange for the opportunity to make their dreams come true. Chapter 5: The Departure. Both Emma and the village of Willow Creek had a fresh start the morning after she decided to make writing her full-time profession. The town was forever changed by the Carnival of Dreams' departure. Once alive with the enchantment and awe of the carnival, the town square now lies serene, enjoying the first rays of morning light. Emma felt a bit of a shift in the vibe of the town as she strolled through its streets. Ambient quietness betrayed a silent resolve. The carnival had inspired and had made an impression on the locals, as shown in the discussions of passers-by, a revitalization of the businesses in the area. An announcement of the new restaurant's impending launch was made on the sign outside the baker's store. The educator announced her vacation to write her book on the school bulletin board. Emma could see people chasing their ambitions with all of their might wherever she turned. The scope of this change extended beyond personal ambitions. It seemed as if the whole town was undergoing a revitalization. The carnival's inventiveness had sparked a creative collaborative among the local artists. A new sense of communal pride and exhilaration washed over Emma. Not only had the carnival reawakened her fantasies, but it had also breathed new life into the whole town. One evidence of the Carnival of Dreams' enduring influence is the strong feeling of community and common goal setting that emerged. Emma stopped to think as she walked by the library. She had always felt safe and secure here. It was heartbreaking to go, but she was certain that the development she had achieved at the carnival had prepared her for what was ahead. The next morning was meaner than simply another day. It marked the beginning of an exciting new chapter in Emma's and Willow Creek's story. After the Carnival of Dreams departed, it was the end of an incredible event, but it was also the start of many other adventures, all inspired by the carnival's enchantment and wonder. The people of Willow Creek found a routine of contemplation and understanding the days that followed. Residents like Emma were able to pause and reflect on the life-altering effects of their experiences once the Carnival of Dreams departed. Emma would sit at her writing desk for hours, daydreaming about the enchanted carnival evenings. The carnival, she now saw, had been more than a place to amuse herself. It had mirrored her innermost hopes and anxieties. She had the bravery to completely embrace her love of writing, and the strength to face her own reality because of it. It was not only Emma who went through this time of contemplation. Even though he was occupied with opening his new restaurant, the baker couldn't help but reflect on how the carnival had shaped his aspirations in the kitchen. While writing her account, the educator pondered how the stories in Pandora's box had served as a springboard for her own narrative. The Carnival of Dreams had inspired something in every person in town. It had made them question their assumptions about what was achievable, and to push them beyond their limitations. The carnival had shaken up many people's lives, causing them to stop doing what they were doing and instead follow their dreams. Appreciation flowed from these insights. People in the community were grateful for the carnival because of all it had taught them and the impact it had on their lives. The significance of thinking big, facing one's anxieties, and following one's interests were all lessons they had learned from it. Additionally, the municipality understood the significance of community in encouraging and fostering individual aspirations. The people of Willow Creek had become closer as a result of the carnival, and they now supported and rallied behind one another. Emma had a deep feeling of development as she reflected on her experience at the fair. Not only did she have a better grasp of who she was and what she wanted out of life, but she also had a better idea of how to get there. An important aspect of the voyage was the time spent contemplating and realizing things after the Carnival of Dreams had departed. These were the times of deep reflection that helped the carnival's enchantment to become tangible, long-term transformation and development. The residents of Willow Creek entered a time of saying goodbyes and making pledges as the first wave of contemplation subsided. The enduring influence of the Carnival of Dreams prompted a string of heartfelt farewells to long-gone ways of life and the acceptance of fresh beginnings. Emma was a direct witness to this. After many years of making the library her second home, she decided to have a little goodbye party there. Regulars and coworkers gathered to say their goodbyes, reminisce, and offer their support for her new endeavor. For Emma, it was a mixed bag of emotions as she said farewell to a major part of her life and welcomed the new chapter that lay ahead. Similarly, the baker invited only close relatives and friends to a preview dinner at his brand new eatery. It was his way of embracing his lifelong ambition of opening a restaurant and bidding farewell to the little bakery he had operated for many years. Laughter, nostalgia, and excitement for what was to follow were the themes of the gathering. The instructor also had her goodbyes. At a reading session she set up at a nearby school, she read out from the book she had started writing. Everyone from her coworkers to her pupils praised her enthusiasm and offered to be her book's first readers when it came out. These farewells were more than just saying goodbye. They were celebrations of development and progress. These were times to reflect on the past while joyfully anticipating the future. As they said their goodbyes, they also made a pact to follow their dream, be there for one another, and always remember the Carnival of Dreams. Emma vowed to herself that she would immerse herself in writing and give life to the tales that existed only in her imagination. The town would be introduced to new tastes and sensations by the baker, and the community would be inspired by the teacher's words. According to her pledge, the community looked to take a stand, promising to support its citizens' aspirations and encourage their creativity. A feeling of belonging and shared purpose had been planted in Willow Creek by the carnival's participants. An indication of the Carnival of Dreams' lasting influence was the time spent saying goodbyes and making commitments. For the whole town, as well as for individuals like Emma, it had been a turning point. New avenues that the residents of Willow Creek were exploring bore the marks of the carnival's departure. Willow Creek began to feel the effects of the Carnival of Dreams' departure in the months that followed. While the carnival itself was brief, the impact it had on the town and its inhabitants was profound and long-lasting. The most obvious effect of the carnival on Willow Creek was the influx of new ideas and inspiration that it inspired. The town's artistic and imaginative spirit was revitalized as a result of the carnival's enchanted experiences, which inspired local artisans and artists to work together. Emma, who had given herself entirely to literature, often saw the carnival as an inspiration. She discovered a newfound love for writing after her experiences that opened a floodgate of inspiration. The carnival had a profound effect on her. It inspired her to follow her heart and accomplish her goals, and her trip mirrored that. Another evidence of the carnival's enduring impact was the bakery-turned-restaurant. Infusing his new enterprise with the magic and excitement he had felt at the carnival, the baker had created a one-of-a-kind dining experience for the community. Other local firms were motivated to reevaluate their strategies and bring more imagination to their own projects after seeing his success. Upon its publication, the teacher's book became a communal pride symbol. It was a compilation of stories that mirrored the carnival's Pandora's box of tales, replete with tales of bravery, optimism, and creativity. People of all ages began to look forward to her book readings, which helped cultivate a love of storytelling in the neighborhood. Willow Creek was also forever changed by the Carnival of Dreams, which fostered camaraderie and solidarity. Everyone in town had become closer as a result of the carnival, and that feeling of togetherness had lasted long after the festivities had finished. It was easier for people to work together on community projects and encourage one another's aspirations. The carnival had served as a reflection of the town's and its citizens' latent abilities and aspirations. The plane's departure had been more of a beginning than a conclusion. It had been the spark that set in motion a myriad of opportunities. A lasting impression of the Carnival of Dreams was the message it conveyed. That true magic lies not just in large-scale events, but also when following one's dreams with the help of friends and family. Changed Willow Creek forever, altering the course of history for all time.
The metamorphosis that started during the Carnival of Dreams became a fresh beginning for the residents of Willow Creek as the seasons changed.
Anna, who was now completely absorbed in her work, had become a representation of this transformation, standing for the determination to follow one's heart despite obstacles. The decision to pursue her dream of becoming a writer was not an easy one, but the satisfaction she felt as she drew closer to finishing her first work proved she had been correct. Not only had Emma accomplished a great deal on her own, but her story had also served as an example to the rest of the community. Her bravery in embracing change and following her ambition exemplified the influence of the Carnival of Dreams. There was a clear change in the town itself. Creativity and ingenuity, which the carnival had inspired, persisted. Community activities had become more lively and creative. Local artists were flourishing, and new companies had arisen. Willow Creek has transformed into an inspiration mecca where aspirations were fostered and supported. As a result of the carnival, the town's residents had become closer together and formed stronger bonds of friendship. As a community, we rallied around each other, cheering on our triumphs and rallying behind our struggles. Everyone felt more connected than before, which fostered personal and group development. Rather than signaling the conclusion of an incredible event, the Carnival of Dreams, departure signified the start of a new chapter in the lives of Emma and the residents of Willow Creek. They had taken to heart the lesson that the carnival had taught them about the significance of dreaming big and going after their ambitions. While Emma was working on the last chapters of her book, she had a revelation. Her trip had been about more than just reaching a personal objective. Embracing change, conquering fear, and understanding that with every end comes a new beginning were the main themes. The Carnival of Dreams had left, but its enchantment lingered in the memories and deeds of those it had inspired. Just as Emma's book was about to hit shelves, word spread like wildfire across Willow Creek, reigniting all the passion from the previous year. A village far away was seeing a resurgence of the Carnival of Dreams, the enchanted festival that had changed their lives. The people were filled with a mixture of delight and nostalgia as the word traveled rapidly. And Emma heard that a new town was ready to enjoy the carnival's enchantment. She felt an overwhelming wave of joy. Her mind wandered to the next transformations, the evenings of awe and discovery, and the paths she had been. We felt connected to the strangers who would soon experience the carnival's enchantment. People in Willow Creek began talking about how dreams and ambitions are universal when the Carnival of Dreams made an appearance elsewhere. It served as a gentle reminder that their universal need for all introspection and the fulfillment of their aspirations was not exclusive to them. People in Willow Creek started telling their friends and relatives in neighboring communities about their experiences as word got out about the carnival's next stop. They spoke about how the carnival changed their lives, how beautiful it is to follow one's ambitions, and how crucial it is to have community support to make those aspirations come true. Emma saw the carnival's relocation as a confirmation of its mission. It was a moving lighthouse that illuminated the way, sparking transformation and progress. Knowing that something that had begun as a mystifying occurrence in their little hamlet was now setting fire to aspirations and inspiring innovation in other parts of the world filled her with pride. Though it had departed from Willow Creek, the Carnival of Dreams had left an indelible mark on everyone it had met, and not just on the town itself. Its voyage to uncharted territories was an extension of its mandate to ignite aspirations and motivate people. As the Carnival of Dreams continued to enchant new locations, Emma and the residents of Willow Creek eagerly watched and delighted. They understood the carnival for what it really was, a phenomenon, a tribute to the boundless potential of the human spirit to imagine and manifest one's dream. While its ultimate fate remained a mystery, the Carnival of Dreams' influence was certain. It served as a poignant reminder that the most surprising settings may be the ones where magic takes flight, changing people's lives and igniting a fire of hope.